Yuchi Mengxing dashed forward like a streak of swordlight, straight into the mountain's inner ring. She reached out and lightly touched the faintly shimmering barrier. It felt as if her palm pressed against a sheet of crystal-clear glass, but on closer feel, it was like touching flowing water. Ripples spread out in circles, so mesmerizing she couldn't look away.
This is a barrier.
Yuchi Mengxing muttered under her breath, her eyes brimming with curiosity and excitement. Just then, an older ghost slowly drifted in midair, his voice low as he explained.
In the inner ring, beasts are at least 4th rank. Our forebears set this up to keep them from harming people, so they laid down this barrier, which also became the perfect trial ground for juniors.
Elder, your soul looks dim and worn. I fear the world has long forgotten you. Why don't you just go to the netherworld and be reborn already?
Yuchi Mengxing withdrew her hand and faced the old ghost squarely, her tone carrying a trace of seriousness. The old ghost looked wistful, silent for a long while, merely floating in midair as if pinned there by invisible ties. Seeing this, Yuchi Mengxing let out a soft sigh, her gaze suddenly turning gentle.
The mortal world is nothing much. Human lives are fleeting, gone in but an instant. Xenia, you must have clung to some obsession in life. But since you fell before breaking through the heaven stage, you remain here, unwilling to leave.
Yuchi Mengxing gave a slight shake of her head, her tone carrying a touch of girlish regret.
But 1,000 years have passed. No one in this world remembers you anymore. So why cling to it so stubbornly?
Yes, 1,000 years have passed. No wonder my soul grows faint. Had I reached the heaven stage, perhaps it could have lasted 10,000 years.
Perhaps so.
With her hands clasped behind her back, Yuchi Mengxing's eyes flickered, and a sly smile suddenly curved her lips.
All right then, Elder, since you were kind enough to warn me, I'll send you off to the netherworld to be reborn.
Yuchi Mengxing flicked out spirit money, flames flaring as the ashes drifted like black butterflies into the night sky. The air grew solemn, and even the spirits fell silent. Next, she drew out a crimson talisman. Under the moonlight, its lines seemed alive, faintly shimmering with golden light. At the same time, she chanted a strange incantation, the syllables, harsh and obscure. The nearby spirits couldn't understand, yet felt an odd sense of awe. Yuchi Mengxing pressed 2 fingers together, formed a seal, and hurled the talisman into the air. In less than the time for a cup of tea, the sky suddenly split open with a crack. A golden beam fell from the sky, shining straight onto the old man within the sphere of light. The old man's remnant soul grew light and transparent in the glow, slowly rising upward. Before departing, he raised a hand and drew forth an ancient tome from the void. The tome glimmered faintly, its heavy cover marred with cracks, yet it emanated a profound aura. Gratitude filled the old man's eyes, his voice echoing softly.
Junior, this very tome was the cause of my fall back then. Now I am bound for rebirth, with no heirs left to await, so I entrust this tome to you.
Before his words faded, golden light flared. The beam came swiftly, and vanished just as fast, taking the old man's soul with it, leaving only a gentle afterglow behind. Where he vanished, the tome slowly descended, as if borne by unseen hands, landing gently in Yuchi Mengxing's arms. She caught it, glanced down, and her heart gave a slight tremor. Yuchi Mengxing carefully tucked the heavy tome into her satchel, cradling it as if it were a precious treasure. Then she formed a seal with both hands, fingers glowing as she swiftly traced signs at the barrier. Her gaze sharpened, aura sinking, as she gave a low shout.
Break!
The water-like barrier rippled, then with a sharp crack, she tore open a gap just wide enough for her body. Yuchi Mengxing's eyes lit up. Without a word, she bent down and slipped through with swift ease. No sooner had she passed through than the barrier rippled shut, like water, returning to perfect calm without a trace of a gap. Inside the inner ring, Yuchi Mengxing slowed her steps, glancing left and right, her eyes darting about with a mix of excitement and caution.
Tisk, this place really is different. Maybe if I just nab one beast, I could make a fortune.
Yuchi Mengxing rubbed her chin and strolled lazily deeper inside, like a little fox hopping along, nervous inside, yet pretending to be calm. The moment Yuchi Mengxing cracked the barrier with her hand, seal, the hidden guards of the great clans, tasked with watching over it, were instantly alarmed. They looked at one another, chills running through their hearts. For this barrier had always been under the joint control of the great clans. Normally, it could only be opened with the royal family's permission. Yet now, someone had forced their way into the inner ring, without them lifting a finger.
Damn! this is no small matter.
One man, his voice shaking with fear, flew off at once to report to the palace. In the palace, the Xuanwu Emperor sat high upon his throne, clad in a black dragon robe embroidered with intricate gold. His face was strikingly youthful, like a man in his 20s, but the depth and steadiness in his eyes revealed he was already past 60. At the report, he rose sharply to his feet, his expression unusually grave.
What? Someone trespassed into the barrier's inner ring?
That barrier was forged by our forebears with all their strength, standing firm for 1,000 years. How could it be broken so I... The hall fell silent, until an elderly minister with graying hair stepped forward, bowing deeply as he spoke in a solemn voice.
Your Majesty, in this old servant's view, that person must possess cultivation at the Earth Tier peak. Otherwise, it would be impossible to break the barrier alone.
At these words, the Xuanwu Emperor's eyes grew dark. His fingertips tapped lightly on the dragon desk, deep in thought.
Earth Tier peak, alone?
Yes, Your Majesty, the barrier fluctuated only for an instant, then swiftly returned to normal. After much discussion with the other clans, we all believe only one at Earth Tier peak could cause such a fluctuation without damaging the barrier's foundation.
Oh?
The Xuanwu Emperor arched a brow, his fingertip tapping the dragon desk. His gaze turned sharp as a blade as he suddenly posed a question.
Could it be that a 7th-ranked beast accidentally struck the barrier?
The court fell into a start, the officials glancing at one another.
A 7th-rank beast.
If such a being truly appeared.
But for hundreds of years, no beast in the inner ring has ever struck the barrier.
The Xuanwu Emperor's suggestion threw the once confident ministers into sudden silence. Some pressed their lips tight. Others trembled inwardly, yet none dared speak rashly. The air in the grand hall grew heavy, even the sound of breathing unusually clear. That's right, why hadn't they thought of it? If it truly was a 7th-rank beast that broke the barrier by accident, doesn't that mean the beast may have already escaped?
That would be disastrous.
The clan elders in the hall felt a chill seize their hearts, their faces changing at once.
If a 7th-rank beast is truly on the loose, it could wipe out cities and clans alike. Majesty, we take our leave. We will proceed at once to the barrier to investigate. If a beast has indeed stirred, it must be quelled immediately.
Before the Xuanwu Emperor could speak, the clan elders had already bowed and departed, turning into streaks of light as they rushed toward the barrier. Yet just as they flew out a few steps, the barrier stirred again, this time not a fleeting ripple, but one that lasted a whole quarter hour.
Teach this. It's already lasted a quarter hour.
Damn, this is no ordinary impact.
The clan elders turned pale, their faces grave. In the blink of an eye, they shot off like meteors, racing toward the barrier.